Welcome to the Paisley 2021 Stadium for Scotland's opening game in Euro 2019 qualifying. The opposition tonight, the Netherlands. Good evening from me, Luke Shanley. I'm joined here in Paisley by Kenny Miller. And Kenny, when you look at this group and you look at the fixtures, it's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, there's no point in pulling the wool over anyone's eyes. It's going to be a tough group, a lot of big established names in there, but I think we're all heartened by what we're seeing from Scotland just now.
Yeah, Netherlands this evening. How key is it to try and get off to a positive start, not only result but in terms of performance building for this group?
It's important. Listen, I think people are going to be realistic. The Netherlands are expected to win the group. I think as long as Scotland put on a solid showing, we'd all love a result, but as long as we see progress, some cohesion, something to build on for the rest of the campaign, I think that's the most important thing tonight.
When you look at those fixtures, it's probably the toughest start we could get. Netherlands at home, away to England. But overall, is it about qualifying or is it about producing players going forward for the A squad?
I think there's obviously a balance to be had. It's a long time since Scotland were represented in a final at this age group, so they would dearly love to do that. But as I think Scott Gemmell's already referenced this week, they've done a good job in recent years of churning out players for the A squad, and that ultimately has to be the goal.
Just imagine if it all came down to that game on the 16th of October 2018, Scotland against England. It would be something, certainly. But in terms of experience though for these players, because they're playing up against opposition, for example, one of the players tonight has played in a Europa League final in the Netherlands team. What will that do for them playing against a top quality side?
I think we're used to seeing these boys week to week, and it's the same kind of test. So yeah, take them out of their comfort zone and see how they do against a completely different type of opposition. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing how they measure up.
Well, the Dutch are familiar opponents and visitors. This is the third time in 4 qualifying groups that the two teams have been drawn together, in 2013, 2015 and now in the 2019 qualifying section. Will be piped in today, and there is a crowd certainly building here at the Paisley 2021 Stadium, which is encouraging for the young players. But the last time the Dutch were here, they won handsomely 6-1. I recall that game. Quincy Promise with a hat-trick. It really was a tough evening for Scotland. But you go further back, 2011, Scotland managed to get that win in Holland. Jordan Rhodes and David Wotherspoon scoring. It can be done, Kenny.
Yeah, and I saw the clip of the goals up earlier on the Scottish FA Twitter account. It's worth a look for anyone that wants to refresh their memory. Some names in that team, and who's to say we don't have a moment like that in us tonight.
Well, we certainly hope that we can get a moment like that. That was a brilliant result back in Nijmegen in 2011, followed up by a 0-0 draw here in that group, but it was the Netherlands who qualified. And just to go over the qualifying situation, there are 12 teams in the finals. Italy as co-hosts automatically qualify. San Marino, the other host, they are in Group 1 for qualifying. So 9 group winners go through. The 4 best runners-up go through to the playoffs. 2 then progress, and Italy through as co-hosts. So that is how you have to qualify for the Euro 2019 finals. It will certainly be very difficult, that's for sure, with the likes of the Dutch and England in the group, but also Ukraine as well, who Scotland played in the last tournament. So we're getting ready here for the teams to emerge at the Paisley 2021 Stadium. The rain is off. It was raining earlier. It might mean a slick pitch this evening. You expect much good football. Whenever you have a Dutch team here, you would expect to see the game played in the right way.
Yeah, Scott Gemmell's picked a Scotland team full of footballers. He's gone for brains over brawn. So no, I think there'll be plenty of football tonight, and it would be nice to build on the feel-good factor from the 19s and the A squad in the last week.
Yeah, and also the under-20s from Toulon as well, do you feel?
Absolutely, definitely a few success stories to come out of that, not least Greg Taylor for his samba slaying winner against Brazil, which he's not shy about mentioning.
Yeah, he's never mentioned it, has he?
No, I think he'll be dining off that for a long time to come. I thought it was a test for Ollie Burke, the Tournoi tournament, because his experienced life with the A squad, he could have been downhearted at dropping, as it could have been seen to that level, but listen, he rolled up his sleeves, captained the team, and did himself proud. So no, a few of them certainly did themselves justice.
Well, not long to go until the campaign gets underway for Scotland. Every other team has played already in this group. This is the start of the new campaign, the start of the journey for these young Scottish players. The odds may be against Scotland in qualifying for the finals in Italy and San Marino, but we love nothing more than being the underdogs and proving the doubters wrong. Well, the teams emerge. We are ready for this one, and as I said, there is a good crowd building here in Paisley. Before the game, we will have the national anthems, starting with our visitors from the Netherlands.
And now for Scotland, led by the Piper Stephen Small.
The Scottish team are ready for this one, taking on the Dutch, familiar visitors to Paisley. And the Dutch team is unchanged from that got the draw against England at the weekend. They can call on the experience of Frankie de Jong, who played in the Europa League final, or certainly the last 8 minutes of that against Manchester United in the summer. Bart Ramselaar scored the goal against England. He has 2 full caps for the Dutch side. And for Scotland, well, Scott Gemmell hands under-21 debuts to 4 players tonight, including Ollie Burke, who has 5 caps for Gordon Strachan's A squad. Anthony Ralston, Scott McKenna and Ian Wilson also make their first appearances at this level. Greg Taylor is still on a high after his winning goal against Brazil in the under-20s in France in the summer. Chris Cadden has 4 goals in 9 Motherwell appearances this season. And Kenny, when you look at that Scotland team, it is a mixture of youth and experience. John Souttar, he played in the opening game of the last campaign. How key will he be? And also that man, as we can see, Ollie Burke.
I think I first saw John Souttar play when he was 15 or 16, and even back then he was an old head on young shoulders, so I think he is going to be a key player. He's calm on the ball, he's a good organiser. I think he's gradually become more aggressive in his play, so certainly Ollie Burke, he's someone that I think is developing leadership qualities. He got his big move to West Brom, and big things expected.
Dom Thomas there, the oldest player in this squad, called up by Scott Gemmell. He won't thank me for saying that. 21 now, the Kilmarnock man.
It's been good to see Dom Thomas get a chance at Kelly this season, and Lee McCullough's given him a free role. He likes to express himself. Certainly probably been their standout performer so far.
Be the Dutch to kick off, and Bart Ramselaar, the man to get us underway. Just waiting for the referee, who is from Slovenia today, Rada Obranovic. And Scotland looking for a positive performance in this opener to their Euro 2019 qualifying. We are underway here at the Paisley 2021 Stadium, St Justa, going for the diagonal ball early on. A physical battle already there between Castanier and Ralston. And there's a man that has had experience this season already, playing 4 times for Celtic. How key will he be?
And you won't see him dumped on his backside too often. He's a unit of a boy. I was in the company of someone last week who knows him very well, and he said, look, he's been given very simple instructions at Celtic. Do what you do best, win the ball and pick your runs. And he's passing so tidy, he's come on leaps and bounds very quickly. Looking forward to seeing him tonight. Ollie
Burke winning that one. And there is Ralston going in. Again, I was speaking to Lee McCulloch, who his Kilmarnock team played against, Ralston played against his Kilmarnock team twice already this season, and he said that is a man that he earmarked to play for Scotland in the future.
We were away with the 19s earlier in the year, and he just looked like a Rolls Royce of a right back at that level. No one could keep up with him athletically. I think his games come on all the time, and listen, I think Scotland just now have a lot to thank Brendan Rodgers for. You can see the impact he's had right through the levels.
The Dutch looking to try and get their passing game going. Here's the captain, St Justa. Over to Paulo Rosario. Now Denzel Dumfries. But well won back there by Lewis Morgan, and he gets the free kick out of that. Dumfries committing the challenge in Paisley. As you can see, Kenny, that'll be an intriguing one, because Dumfries will want to get forward, but good backtracking there from Lewis Morgan. And that's another one, Lewis Morgan, who's been earmarked for big things, still playing here at his home ground tonight, the St Mirren player.
He spoke to the press earlier in the week, and he's another level-headed boy. Listen, there's a string of clubs interested in him in the window, but he was content to bide his time. He knows he's going to play here.
Ralston looking for Morgan, just overrunning there and going out for a goal kick.
But no, Morgan's coming on all the time, and listen, I think it's a question of when, not if he leaves St Mirren, but certainly not in a hurry to move for the sake of it.
We'll whisper that when you're in Paisley.
Well, we're on the right side of the stadium.
Long by Drummel, the goalkeeper, looking for Castanier. Won again by Ralston. Thomas trying to get it down now. Mallon going in, but Castanier looking to play it through there to the striker going forward there, Bergwijn. But Scotland come away. Taylor to Morgan, up against Dumfries. This could be an interesting battle this evening, and holding him off well, getting to the byline and winning the corner for Scotland. Positive play.
Listen, positive's the word, and that's what you get from Lewis Morgan. He's direct, needs no invitation to push, and he's got a great burst of pace.
There's Greg Taylor, the man that scored against Brazil and France in the summer, and he's mentioned it 1 or 2 times, that's for sure.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
The only Scottish player to score a winning goal against Brazil at national level. Now Mallon, former St Mirren player, to take, and it goes. Well cleared though in the end. And that the target with the likes of McKenna and Suter up there for Scotland. Still Scotland in the right half of the field. It's Thomas winning the throw from away in.
It's a confident start. Certainly they're playing the football in the right half of the pitch.
Ralston, Burke, Ralston looking to get to the byline, and he gets the corner kick away in, going in there, and took a slight nick off the AZ Alkmaar man, and Scotland have another corner. This time Dom Thomas to whip one in, left-footed, and nodded away. It'll be another Scotland corner. Well, how key is the threat here, Kenny, when you have the likes of John Souttar, Scott McKenna up from the back?
Well, you're relying on the delivery being good, and more often than not it is from Thomas.
Here he is again. McKenna free and Souttar! Well, the chance there at the back post for Scotland, John Souttar, the most experienced man in the team. And Kenny, should it have been 1-0?
Well, it should have been, especially with Souttar's technique. I can't believe the hanging cross was allowed to drop to 2 free shots. You saw McKenna leave it for Souttar, and he'll be disappointed. With the ability John Souttar has, he should have at least made the goalkeeper work.
Well, he's obviously shouted there to McKenna to leave it, but should McKenna have gone for it himself?
No, I think he picked the right option. John Souttar just misjudged the volley, and he'll be disappointed with himself because he has it in him to do better.
Well, it is a positive start for Scotland, and Thomas now.
I think we spoke off air about how experienced the team is club-wise. That is encouraging, and you can't always say that about Scotland teams at this level. A lot of first-team games peppered around this team.
It's very true, and you've got the likes of Ollie Burke, who's actually making his debut at this level this evening, as he fails to keep that one in. But it was a tough one there, as Scott Gemmell's been able to call him back from the A squad. He's not been used. He did play for the under-20s. How key will he be with his experience from Rasenballsport, Leipzig, and now at West Brom?
Well, he's unlikely to be fazed by anything at this level. If you've done it against Dortmund, you can do it at the Paisley Stadium.
Well, Drommel to take the goal kick. Dumfries the target. It's gone out here on this near side.
Remember being in Limerick with the under-19s and watching I think Kieran Tierney and Ollie Burke turn it on, and the two of them just skipped the 21s completely.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about Ollie Burke playing at this level, and here he is again. But Andy Robertson, after playing for the Scotland first team, did take the step back, and it certainly, you have to say, it did him the world of good as well.
And it's good for the rest of the boys. A lot of the time I think this age level suffers because the best players tend to be fast-tracked to the A-team, and the 21s maybe take a few hits in result terms as a consequence. So listen, there's no doubt he strengthens this team.
I think when we played the Dutch and beat them in Nijmegen in 2011, a lot of that team were promoted or were not playing always at that level, which may be to the detriment of Scotland. Jordan Rhodes, for example, went up. James Forrest went up. So sometimes it is about development. It's not necessarily always about qualifying.
Scott Gemmell's taken a few heavy hits.
Wilson looking for Burke here, and Drommel has to come out and play sweeper keeper.
I was going to say Scott Gemmell took a few hits early on when he took over, but that was as a consequence of being really, really unselfish and playing guys who were much younger than the age level.
Well, Scotland not getting the corner there. Dom Thomas now with Kilmarnock. This is just his second cap. We welcome our viewers from the Netherlands this evening as well, who are listening in to us, and we will try not to be too biased, but obviously we're wanting a Scotland win. But the Dutch, as we said, have experience, and it was a 1-1 draw against England at the weekend, and the manager has named an unchanged lineup, which I guess from starting in this campaign, there's obviously a way he wants to play with that squad of players.
Obviously a lot of expectation on the Dutch. Plenty of first team exposure in their ranks too. I'd just like to find out a bit more about Denzel Dumfries.
What's in a name? Joe Drommel, the goalkeeper, who as a kid was actually a midfielder, but he decided around about the age of 12 that he wanted to become a goalkeeper, and that's what he's doing, playing for SC Twente. 20-year-old, going long. Taylor, kept in by Dumfries. McKenna knocks it away, and the Dutch trying to get the ball down and play it. Bergwijn, Castanier. Bergwijn again, hit the bar against England on Saturday with a great shot from outside the box. So Scotland will need to make sure they don't give him too much space, that's for sure. St Juste Van Drongelen. Ramselaar, the man that scored against England at the weekend with a great header. So just again, Dumfries on this near side if he wants to use him. Decides to go to Van Drongelen now as the Dutch trying to get some passing going here. And they have an opportunity potentially, but John Souttar stops the danger at the expense of a corner kick.
Yeah, he dealt with that well. I think in that passage of play you can see how disciplined Chris Cadden's had to be so far. We used to see him buccaneering, breaking down the right wing for Motherwell. It's been more of a defensive shift for him so far tonight.
Thomas O'Wayan will take this corner kick as the young fans are enjoying the early stages here in Paisley. Scotland 0, Netherlands 0, but danger here for Scotland. O'Wayan's corner. McKenna attacks that and gets it clear. Only as far as Stephen Bergwijn. Scotland trying to push out though. Rick Van Drongelen.
That's what you get from Scott McKenna. No airs, no graces.
Frenkie de Jong. Jerry St Juste. De Jong, the Ajax man. Van Drongelen of Hamburg. Thomas O'Wayan. And the Dutch starting to move it about a bit now after the opening 10 minutes where Scotland certainly were on the front foot. And Ralston doing well to stop the danger, and he's actually won the throw in there.
McKenna did well at the corner. I think he's been unlucky. I think if he'd been at most other clubs he might have had a run out just now, or run out of late, but Aberdeen have been doing so well. Hard for Derek McInnes to get a minute centre back.
The uncapped at this level, Scott McKenna, and he's had spells on loan at the likes of here United twice, Alloa also. Played at under 19 level 14 times, so he has experience with the national team. It's just a natural progression, I guess, for the 20-year-old. Yeah,
and he's capped in the 19s. They think a lot of him. Another old head on young shoulders, and a good blend with Souttar. McKenna's a bit more of an out-and-out defender. Souttar certainly has a bit more football in him.
Well, we hope that they complement each other well. And Ralston to take the throw, and he scored this season against Kilmarnock in the League Cup. His first goal for Celtic. And he has been in and around the team for a couple of years now. Made his debut at St Johnstone in May 2016. Van Drongelen across to Denzel Dumfries. Thomas O'Wayan, man from AZ Alkmaar. Van Drongelen going long, looking for Castanier. It's actually kept in there by Gus Till. No, in fact, it's gone out there, and Ryan Fulton will have the goal kick.
A lot of hard work in store for Scotland's wide players. The Dutch like to stretch the game. Lewis Morgan might have to time these runs so he doesn't burn out too early.
Fulton, who has been certainly a spectator so far early on, it's not been tested. But his opposite number might be here as he had to deal with the back pass, and we've lost another ball. That's 2 over the stand here in Paisley. Multi-ball system though, don't worry.
Good pressing from Dom Thomas.
Ralston, Thomas up against 2, looking for Ralston again, and the award of the throw goes to the Netherlands. Well, Scotland haven't qualified for a European Championship since 1996. They have finished top of their group on 2 occasions though, but with the old system you would have to still enter a playoff, and Scotland lost in 2003 to Croatia, and then again in 2010 to an Iceland team that have a lot of the players that played that day in their full squad now.
We're due a break then.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, Scotland reached the semi-finals back in 1996. Finished 4th in the end. But the Dutch, they've won this tournament on 2 occasions, back in 2006 and then again in 2007. Mallon. Thomas just got out there by Dumfries. Greg Taylor has to do the dirty work. Forward it goes to Morgan. Fouled there by Paulo Rosario. And Scotland have the free kick.
And Morgan did really well there. She used his body, invited the foul.
Forward and taken quickly by Taylor, but the offside flag up against Chris Cadden. Thomas O'Wayan. Rick van Drongelen cost Hamburg €3 million in the summer. Bart Ramselaar, who's switched flanks up against Taylor. Gus Teal. Taylor has it. Well, he was tempted to play it back to the goalkeeper, but Stephen Bergwijn was there, and by the time he tried to turn, his touch ensured the ball ended up running out of play. Dumfries looking for the run of De Jong. Suter trying to prevent the corner and does so. De Jong, though, has possession back, the Ajax man. Cross comes in from Dumfries. Fulton wins the free kick. Castanier going in with the goalkeeper. First real test of the evening for the Hamilton man.
Morgan's working so hard on that left hand side to shuttle the opposition, and goes down the space.
Shooter blasts it long, looking for Burke to chase, and he's got the pace. Drongelen back to the goalkeeper, Joe Drommel, who had to fire it forward, and that's what his pace is going to do tonight. Make the defence think twice. Now Thomas decides to go for goal, deflected. Corner kick for Scotland.
But that is what Ollie Burke's all about, that explosive, raw athleticism. I bumped into Scott Gemmell outside, and he said that his training stats are off the chart. He's almost superhuman. He says he's never seen an athletic specimen like him. And he can play a bit as well, which always helps.
The future. The young fans enjoying Scotland's under-21s here. Thomas's cross, the keeper can only punch. Now Cadden. The ball just wouldn't drop kindly for him there. Scotland still have a chance to get the pressure on. Thomas just caught on his heels. Taylor now to knock it back forward. Here's Thomas again. Lovely reverse ball. It's Morgan. And it's just wide. Well, a real chance there for Scotland.
It's worth a go. He kept it down. Cadden's upset he didn't get a through ball, but no, it's not. I thought he was perfectly entitled to have a go from there.
On the right foot, Lewis Morgan. The first real chance, although we did have the John Suter one at the back post as well. McKenna wins that. Morgan just up too early, but it falls to Thomas. Needs some help from Taylor. And the throw goes against Scotland. But the referee gave the throw to Scotland. The assistant gave it to the Netherlands, and that was where the debate came in there.
It was a good catch from Denzel Dumfries.
The referee saying, I'm in charge. Just having a word there. He overruled his assistant, and Dumfries wasn't happy.
Greg Taylor's never far from the thick of the action. He's probably one of the smaller players on the pitch, but wait till lacks in inches he makes up for in heart. A tough wee guy.
Well, the physicality will be interesting as Thomas blasts it high. Dumfries knocks it away. Gus Teal here. Morgan trying to win it back, fighting hard, and now Burke looking to chase as Morgan closes down St Justa, and it's going to be the goal kick to the Dutch. But Morgan with that chance moments ago, and you pinpointed him early on saying the work he is doing, he will be a key man for Scotland this evening. Yeah,
and a lot of the Dutch play is coming down his side, so he's having to prove his worth he's worth at both ends of the park.
Scotland have options on the bench tonight as well, Kenny, more of the younger guys as well. Is that something that excites you when you look at those players?
It does. Listen, I get accused of cheerleading the best of the times, but I think there is real depth on that bench. I feel as if I've been banging on about Scott Wright for years. He's really made that starting shirt at Aberdeen his own now. Ryan Hardy's gradually had a bit more involvement at Rangers. Theo Archibald's actually been playing for Brentford. I know they're delighted with his progress. Ross McCrory's loved by Pedro Caixinha.
Well, there's 2 balls on the field here, and Scotland in an encouraging position are now having to go in for a bounce ball. And that was unfortunate there, as the Dutch knock it all the way down the field, and a promising attack is no longer that.
Certainly the last 2 subs. Mikey Johnson's a talent. I hope we get to see him later on, Celtic winger. And Ollie McBurney, maybe unlucky not to start.
Most capped player in the squad at the minute, he has that experience.
He's just got his loan spell to Barnsley from Swansea. So
free kick to Scotland. Dom Thomas tripped, and another set piece opportunity here. And again, this will be a chance to get the big men up, Kenny, but certainly no doubt in that when you see the replay that it was a free kick. Rosario tripping Thomas, but as I said, a chance for the big men again.
Yep, and they're all up the pitch. Got to think McKenna will be the target here.
Morgan over this one, Mallon likewise. It's Mallon's cross to the back post. Away by the Dutch captain. Wilson, the Kilmarnock man, will collect and put it back into the box. Just too deep though. Easy for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. I was just going to say, I think Wilson's an underrated player. He does the less glamorous side of the game. He sweeps up a lot in midfield. I know Kilmarnock have used him all over the pitch, but I do think that's his best position, just sitting in front of the defence, sweeping up.
Just 18 is Ian Wilson. He's played for Kilmarnock 9 times. He's featured in every game, in fact. League Cup and Scottish Premiership. Well, the referee said it's a foul. And it was Castaneer up against Ralston, so Scotland have the free kick there.
Going to say he's a man a few words off the pitch, but on it, Ian Wilson's certainly telling Dom Thomas what he thinks of him right now.
Ryan Fulton, formerly of Liverpool. Burke wins that one. Picked up though by the Dutch. And a chance to get forward. Gus Teal with the back heel. Blocked though by Scotland.
Starting to sound like a broken record, but again, Morgan tracked that run from Dumfries.
Cadden on the right hand side there. Now picked up by Mallon, the Barnsley man, former St Mirren player. And his last 2 goals at this stadium, well, certainly one of them against Wraith Rovers back in April, was an absolute cracker. Taylor up against Denzel Dumfries.
I'm sure the locals are delighted to see Stevie Mallon back. He became a bit of a talisman for the Buddies last year.
Certainly helped them retain their championship status. Burke up against Van Drongelen, the Hamburg man, winning it against a former Leipzig man, but Scotland have it back. Thomas, he showed too much of that there to St Justa, and the Dutch can take it away. It's Gus Teal, Stephen Bergwijn, Frankie de Jong. Scotland have got numbers back though. Now Bart Ramselaar just managing to keep control of the ball. Rick Van Drongelen. A challenge going in there, and it's safely in the hands of Ryan Fulton.
I don't think either keeper's been tested so far.
Yeah, but Scotland certainly with the best of the chances. The Suter and Morgan chances, the Dutch really yet to threaten. 24 minutes on the clock. It's still goalless here in Paisley as Cadden puts the ball into the box, and Joe Drommel Makes the low save under no real pressure though. But Malin was in the box. If he did spill it,
that's maybe where you lose out, by not having a recognised focal point up front. Burke's been the man leading the line, but I think it was him that kick-started the move. Maybe just not there to finish it off. Ball in the right area from Cadden.
Castanier now away in. Castanier again up against Ralston, who wins it back well and is able to clear the danger. De Jong, the Ajax man. Rosario looking for Ramselaar, just too long. Safely in the hands of Fulton. 21-year-old, 4 caps for Scotland, had loan spells with Portsmouth and Chesterfield. Tries to start another Scotland attack. Burke can't win that one. All the way back to the goalkeeper. And the Dutch intent on passing it out from the back. Miscue there. And they will have to think again. De Jong going deep to try and start another attack. Bergwijn. Van Drongelen. Here's Thomas Owain. Van Drongelen again. Good play defending from the front there from Ollie Burke. That will be key for Scotland tonight.
And as we said earlier, he's not afraid to roll up the sleeves and get stuck in. It's the other side of his game.
Burke losing out there. Frankie de Jong, lovely skill. Now Castanier. Looking for Gus Thiel at the back. Just running out there, but you can see what they're trying to do. Kenny, 26 minutes on the clock. Your thoughts more than midway through this first half?
I think Scott Gemmell will be optimistic and reasonably pleased. You can see the shapes working reasonably well. Everyone's got their defined roles. Defence have been comfortable. Midfield have worked their socks off. Just relying on maybe getting that one opportunity to see Burke go one-on-one with someone and really stretch his legs.
Well, both teams failed to qualify for Euro 2017, something they will want to rectify in this campaign. The Dutch missing out, and that's unlike them.
We've mentioned it already, but I'm hopeful with this group. Not so much the opposition, but the group of Scotland players that they have just now. I mean, there's guys like Greg Docherty from Hamilton who are doing well, who didn't make the cut. Liam Henderson didn't make the cut, so it shows there is a bit of depth at this level now.
Yeah, it's encouraging, but it's also key that sometimes you have to promote the under-19s earlier to get maybe 2 or 3 campaigns out of the 21s rather than just 1 or 2 to really blood them.
Yeah, I think Scott Gemmell and certainly Malky Mackay are big on fast tracking when it's appropriate. We've seen that from a few members of the squad.
Fulton with the free kick. Burke up early. It's always going to be tough for Morgan up against Dumfries, who has to just revert to the long ball. McKenna keeping an eye on that one. De Jong back to Van Drongelen. Scotland working hard, and that's a poor one by Rick Van Drongelen, and it will be a throw to Scotland.
I do think the subs are going to have a big part to play tonight, because you can't see Morgan and Cadden lasting the difference if they're going to play like this. And Scott Wright really is a great option to have on the bench, as we've seen for Aberdeen. Yeah,
the one problem is he's not playing at Firhill. That's where he seems to come alive. But of course he is a very good talent, and he scored that goal for Aberdeen at Firhill against Partick Thistle last month, and he got a hat-trick there at the end of last season.
I think it says a lot that there aren't many Aberdeen fans talking about Niall McGinn or Johnny Hayes just now.
Thomas looking for Morgan, and it's a free kick. And it was good defending there by the Dutch, because it was just a case of getting the body in the way there. Denzel Dumfries away over on that left side, being dragged there. And as you can see, Kenny, Morgan trying to get in, running the channels.
Yeah, there's a couple of times it's broken down for Scotland in the final third, but I think that's to be expected early on in the campaign. It's easy to forget it's a new group of players who aren't accustomed to playing together.
Yeah, we mentioned the tournament in France. How key do you think that was for getting the players together? Because there's 4 or 5 that played in France in the summer and got some good results over there.
First and foremost, it's a prestigious tournament. It was good to be involved in it. Certainly a real boost for the boys that were involved.
Scotland on the attack now. It's Lewis Morgan winning possession, driving forward. Up against St Just, it goes for goal! And just wide by Lewis Morgan. It was positive play by the youngster, the man from St Mirren on his home ground, and it was very close.
I think give the ball to Morgan the way he's playing tonight.
Well, as you can see, up against St Just, decided to go on the left foot across the face of goal with Joe Drommel fully stretched.
It's a couple of times St Just now has looked a wee bit anxious going 1-to-1 with Morgan. Doesn't seem quite sure how to go about playing him. Morgan's been good. He's been good hugging the touchline or cutting inside. There's real variety to his game.
Well, he's had one on the right hand side, right footed, just wide, and similar now on the left. It shows he's been all over the place so far in a good way. Drommel going forward, looking for Castanier, just holds off Ralston, but good covering there by Chris Cadden. And it's a throw to Scotland. But Chris Cadden, another one there you can see in your picture, the Scotland number 17, that is benefiting from first team football every week, and he's had that for the last couple of seasons now.
I know Alan Burrows at Motherwell was delighted to keep hold of him, and credit to Motherwell for turning down big money offers from down south. He's the jewel in their crown, and they really wanted to hang on to him. He's a real thoroughbred, a good athlete, and a good player to measure.
Ralston forward, flicked on by Burke. Thomas unlucky not to be able to control that. Well, the Dutch forced all the way back to the goalkeeper. They're keeping possession, but that's positive, the fact that they feel there's not enough options going forward. It means Scotland are certainly doing their job right.
It's as you would expect from a Dutch team, technically gifted and certainly patient on the ball, but you can see frustration creeping into their game just a bit.
Suter going to ground and winning that one. Now Stevie Mallon. Dom Thomas has got support on this left hand side, maybe just overcomplicating it there when the simple pass was out to Morgan. I know he had a couple of men around him there, but he's conceded possession right in the middle of the park as De Jong goes to ground there.
That is the other side of Dom Thomas' game. You almost have to allow him the daft decision sometimes because he is a bit of a maverick.
Well, great play by De Jong there, and I mentioned earlier he played in the Europa League final, or he came on late on for the Dutch, but he lost possession, he won it back and then won a free kick. Very clever play there as the Dutch looking to go forward now. Denzel Dumfries, Stephen Bergwijn looked lively against England at the weekend. Bart Ramselaar, who was very lively, getting a goal against England, who Scotland play next in Middlesbrough next month. Taylor stands his ground, and Dumfries will have to go from the throw, and you can see Denzel Dumfries there. He's actually got 2 caps for Aruba, but both were in friendlies, which means he's not committed to playing for the country, and he's now looking to carve out an international career with the Dutch. He's born in Rotterdam.
It must have come as a blow to Aruba.
No doubt.
Don't know what their depth of talent's like.
Probably couldn't believe their luck. Rosario looking to go forward. Wilson goes to the ground. Chance for Bergwijn here. It hits the post. A real chance there for the Dutch. Wilson unable to get it away, and Bergwijn was in. Pressure still on. Dumfries has the throw, and Scotland getting away with that. I don't know if Ryan Fulton got the touch there, but certainly it rebounded off the upright, and that was danger for Scotland. The best chance for the Dutch so far. Castanier, 3 men round him. Scotland getting it away though. Thomas, Taylor, Morgan in support. That's where it goes, and Scotland have the throw. There's a real chance there for the Dutch, as we can see, Kenny. And it was good play by Rosario. Bergwijn here getting the shot away, and it hit the post.
Yep, that was a let off. It's probably the first time Scotland have been carved open. Ian Wilson maybe dithering slightly there.
Well, the best chance for the Dutch so far, no doubt about that. As Suter with the diagonal ball, lovely ball to Morgan and great control too. Taylor in support here. Can Scotland get on the front foot again? Taylor, well, there certainly seemed to be an arm round them by Denzel Dumfries, and Scotland have the free kick. Taylor had the better of him, and Dumfries, well, it was cynical here, Kenny.
Yeah, the good spot from the ref, pretty blatant. And you think you give Greg Taylor all the credit there. Not intimidated by opposition or occasion, happy to play his normal game. That's what we're used to seeing for Kilmarnock.
Well, a real chance for Scotland here. Stevie Mallon and Lewis Morgan over this again, but you would imagine it will be Mallon for the in-swinger 10 minutes before the break. Mallon's free kick. McKenna's up there, and it's saved in the end by Joe Drommel, but Scott McKenna, the Aberdeen man, with a chance, and set pieces will always be important tonight.
And we spoke about his importance and his ability in the air defensively. There we see what he offers in the final third. Good delivery, and that won't be the last time we see McKenna at the centre of a set piece.
Cadden, Thomas. Oh, Scotland in trouble here. McKenna back to Fulton, stretching to get it clear. The Dutch looking to keep the pressure on though, with Thomas away in. Now Bart Ramselaar.
Great delivery from Mallon as well. I think that's the second time tonight that we've seen a Scotland player enjoy a free header in that situation. Maybe some more joy to come from that.
And that's something the Dutch will have to rectify when you have Suter and McKenna in there at the set piece opportunity. They really have to be wary of their threat.
We talk about Scotland at A-team level being reasonably small. Same can't be levelled at this team.
Thomas looking for Morgan, trying to get the better of Dumfries, who doesn't know what to do as Morgan does get the better of him. And again Dumfries seemed to be holding on to the Scotland player. Scotland get a corner. I think it probably should have been a free kick.
It's great for Morgan because he had nothing on there. He had a lot of ground to cover. Unlucky not to get the free kick, but he did well to win the corner. Let's see what Mallon's got.
Mallon to take this one again. The signal going out.
That man McKenna lurking with a tent again at the back post.
Burke there also. So too John Suter as they get ready for Stevie Mallon to deliver here. Punched by the goalkeeper. Up for photos there because he punched with two hands. He probably could have caught that one. But again, it shows certainly the goalkeeper wasn't sure what to expect and he decided to punch it away. But Scotland again looking to get on the front foot, looking to get the opening goal with 8 minutes before the break. Still Scotland 0, Netherlands 0 as Suter plays it in there looking for Morgan. Gus Thiel able to collect possession, and now with the Dutch captain Jerry St-Juste, Pablo Rosario.
Famous last words, but I don't think there's any doubt that Scotland have been the better team.
Thomas, well again wanting to come inside when Morgan wanted it early there, and maybe he should have just played the through ball because it's the Dutch now on the attack. Thiel into Bergwijn, Taylor going to ground, put him off though, and Suter collects. An intelligent play there because he slipped, he lost his footing and he was under pressure, so he concedes the throw-in.
Yeah, and as you say, Taylor did just enough to put them off there.
But that's wasteful for Scotland in the centre of the park where they're giving the ball away when they should be going forward. Dumfries, Morgan, Mallon, Morgan up there with Thiel, who wins it. Ramselaar comes in. Now Bergwijn looking to find space for the shot, has to go out to Gus Thiel, who is unable to get the cross in thanks to Greg Taylor.
I think Dom Thomas might get a wee word in his ear at half time. You don't want to restrict his attacking inventiveness, but sometimes he just has to play the easy ball.
Dumfries to take this throw in. Man who plays for Heerenveen. Gus Thiel. Steven Bergwijn looking to find the space again. Blocked by Malin, but a shot coming in from Rosario, and it's just wide. Well, that was a great opportunity from the 20-year-old from PSV Eindhoven, and those young Scotland fans wouldn't have been smiling had this gone in, Kenny.
Well, Ryan Fulton didn't seem overly concerned, but certainly from our view, didn't look too far away.
Well, a great chance there from the Dutch. And Scotland were trying to get out and close them down, but Rosario had a swing at that, and Fulton thankful in the end that the shot went wide. But the Dutch starting to get shots on goal now.
Yeah, a couple of near things ever since I said Scotland were in total control, so I think you can just take it from here.
Well, when you look at the way the fixtures fall, it's Netherlands tonight for Scotland, then England, then a double header away, then home against Latvia before Ukraine, and that ends 2017. And Ukraine were tough opponents in the last campaign. 2-2 here was the scoreline.
It would just give them such a boost if you could get a tangible result in this first game, give them something to build on.
Yeah, no other team, this is Scotland's first game, but everyone else has played and no team has won yet in the group. Latvia have 2 points, they had 2 draws from their opening 2 games. Everyone else has played 1 game, so it just shows that a win tonight and that will get Scotland off to an absolute flyer. But Bart Ramselaar wants to get the Dutch on the front foot. Here he is again, low ball across, and Suter for the second time in quick succession clears.
Yeah, well read from John Suter. It makes me laugh when I hear people say that he's weak defensively or he's got a lot to learn. They obviously don't see enough of him.
Yeah, and there he is, back in the Hearts team after injury. He has 5 appearances for Hearts this season, and it's encouraging to see him back from injury because it was a long time out last season, to the detriment of Hearts because he really struggled at the end of last season. Hint of a handball before Malin comes in, and more of a karate kick forward. De Jong up against Malin. Malin just gets wrong side there. Again, good play from De Jong, who's an intelligent player. Let's be honest, he would be at Ajax otherwise. Cross in from Thomas O'Wayan, and Scotland have to clear at the expense of a corner. Scott Gemmell, what do you think he'll be thinking with just about 3 minutes until the break, Kenny?
I think his team talk might have changed ever so slightly in the last 5 minutes. They've maybe just eased off a bit, giving the Dutch a bit too much respect.
O'Wayan's cross away by Thomas, and Scotland have a chance to push out here.
To be fair, I think a few of them maybe just need a breather at half time because there's some shifts put in, especially as we feel as we've said repeatedly from Morgan and Cadden out wide.
De Jong. Rosario, who had that chance moments ago. St. Justa. Now Dumfries. Back with the Dutch captain. Patient build up here. Steven Bergwijn having to come deep to collect. The Netherlands number 9. Dumfries. Chance for a cross. Hit Taylor, and Thomas opts to blast it out.
I think Bergwijn has caught the eye for the Dutch. Makes it look so easy on the ball.
Rosario is also eligible to play for the Dominican Republic. St. Justa here into Bart Ramselaar. Denzel Dumfries. The Dutch looking for a goal just before half time, which would be a real sucker punch to Scotland, but Ian Wilson going in there and clearing the danger.
We are short on right backs. I'd like you to find out for the second half if Denzel Dumfries has a Scottish granny. Add him to the list. That's your challenge for half time.
His name's Dumfries, but he is actually from Rotterdam, and he's been capped for Aruba. Work that one out. But he has the chance to go for the long throw here into the area. Scotland get it clear, but Dumfries has it back. Taylor putting him under pressure, forced to go backwards. Rosario into Castanier, and the ball goes out for a throw into Scotland as we approach half time. We're into the final minute of the opening 45.
Overall, I think it's been mainly positive. As we said, a few of them just need a breather, in particular Dom Thomas.
Morgan. And well, Ollie Burke's going to give chase here. Van Drongelen holding him off, and Drommel's able to blast it clear, but again, just undercooking that one there.
Burks just eats up the ground so quickly, doesn't give the defenders a minute's rest. Just hope he can get him in the right position, even just once.
Well, don't imagine any stoppage time here. And right on the 45, it is half time, and it is Scotland 0, Netherlands 0 here. But Lewis Morgan, the man who had 2 great chances for Scotland, 2 good attempts, unable to get them on target there. And that is why at half time it is Scotland 0, Netherlands 0. Well, Kenny, your opening thoughts on this first half?
Optimistic. I was optimistic before the game, and certainly I've only been encouraged since. I think they stuck to their task. I think maybe not so much the last 5-10 minutes, but they were composed on the ball. We saw a bit of inventiveness from certainly Morgan, Thomas in flashes. Ollie Burke looks keen to get involved, just needs a wee bit more service maybe in the second half. I think the defence, decision making's been spot on, where it's been Taylor and Ralston at full back. Should have swept up brilliantly in the middle, and McKenna's looked a threat in both boxes, so no, a lot to be pleased about.
Yeah, half time Scotland 0, Netherlands 0, and this is the start of a new campaign. And this one might make you feel old, the video we're about to see, because we put to the test some of the Scotland under-21 squad members by asking if what we were showing them was younger or older than 21 years old. Not as easy as it sounds.
Don't know a few of them. Or the first one. No? Come on. Peak too early. Came back call.
Well, that makes me feel old, that's for sure. Kenny, how many did you get there?
Not many. I think it summed up how old and relevant I am now when I asked one of the under-16 players last week what his favourite film was, and he said Cars.
Well, there was somebody up there that I didn't know who they were. A PlayStation, I do remember having one of those, so yeah, it does make you feel old, that's for sure. But this is the first game of Euro 2019 qualifying for the under-21 tournament. But for the A squad, they are reaching the end of their campaign on the road to Russia, and they are just 1 point off second place as they look to reach the playoffs. Helped last night with a 2-0 win over Malta. Let's check out the highlights now from that 2-0 win. Commentary from Davy Provan and Ian Crocker.
Tierney. James Forrest. Keeping his place along with everyone else. Stuart Armstrong looking lively. Grabs his shot wide, but a warning for Malta nonetheless.
Yeah, it's good link-up play from Stuart Armstrong as he comes in here. Manages to make half a yard, even with so many red shirts goal side, still manages to get the shot away.
Robertson not far away here. Phillips needs a second go at it. Oh, the keeper spilt it. Griffiths almost pounced. The Carver found his route blocked.
That's really good defending because Lee Griffiths surely thought he was going to score there as the ball broke to him.
Tierney now. Griffiths. Forrest is actually in the middle with Phillips. It's Lee Griffiths. It's James Forrest, and it's pushed away by the keeper, Andrew Hogg.
That's the save you'd expect the goalkeeper to make. Terrific play here from Griffiths. One thing in his mind, open the target up and get a shot away.
Griffiths sends it over the head of Mulgrew this time! Christoph Berra came in, and that's what you need in games like this, on nights like this. An early goal to settle things down nicely.
Well, variation in the corner. Lee Griffiths goes deep. Berra attacks it brilliantly at the back post. Defender doesn't get tight enough. He gets up early and pins him. Wonder if the goalkeeper could have come back post and helped his centre backs out. Either way, Berra's aggression pays off.
Robertson leaves it for MacArthur and promptly gets it back. Matt Phillips making his home debut, 5 years in the waiting. Robertson for Armstrong! Side netting.
Typical run here from Armstrong. Great first touch as well.
Tierney. Griffiths. A sense of urgency as usual. Griffiths for Forrest. It's away for a corner.
All came from a terrific ball into the channel, of the type that Lee Griffiths just loved. This ball here. It's a chance to square the defender up. Obviously getting a really early call here from Forrest. Really nice bit of football.
Armstrong now. Phillips. Certainly posed a problem for Andrew Hogg.
Almost a delayed reaction here from the keeper. Got down really late, did just enough.
Andy Robertson. Armstrong now. Sets up Robertson! It's off the post! But put in anyway by Lee Griffiths. He'd been looking for that on Friday night, and tonight he's got it, and Scotland do double their lead.
And the set-up play is terrific. So often when Andy Robertson gets in behind, he finds the right ball. This is into the perfect area here. Again, Armstrong arriving late. I just wonder if it took a nick off the defender on the way through, and that's why Lee Griffiths was judged to be onside. Well, he's in where it counts here. Good ball from Andy Robertson.
Robertson picking out Phillips. Forrest is alongside. James Forrest, and turned away for a corner by Hogg.
Well set up by Matt Phillips, who I'm surprised didn't fancy the outside here when he gets the defender squared up. James Forrest did well too. Little drag back makes the space for the shot. Goalkeeper got his angle spot on.
Griffiths. Always looked like he was going to win it. And Phillips was coming in waiting for a pass.
Again, the early ball to release Lee Griffiths. He thrives on that type of early ball forward. Just too quick for the centre back there.
Here's Luke Gambin, tracked by James Morrison. Surviving though. Rafa now looking to get a shot away. Oh, Effiong Almost scrambled in the rebound after Gordon's save.
Well, very rarely you'll see Kieran Tierney getting done for pace here, but can't stop the cross coming in here. Craig Gordon can't get it safe, and Grant Hanley did well at the front post.
Matt Phillips! Over and out.
Oh, so well set up. What a good pass from Andy Robertson to get him in. Maybe a little bit of tiredness here for Matt Phillips.
Well, it was a case of come on Scotland and come on England tonight, and both have delivered. Another victory for Gordon Strachan. He finishes here at Hampden Park tonight. Scotland 2, Malta 0.
Scotland winning that one 2-0 then, and they are still in the hunt for a place in Russia in the summer, and they're winning a double header for the first time in 10 years, which was encouraging. What about tonight? It's also been encouraging in that first half. Let's take a look at some of the action here in Paisley, Kenny. And Scotland certainly physically getting in and about early on. Morgan, the man there, winning the foul, but he's had chances. John Souttar had an early chance here. For Scotland, should they have actually gone ahead? Should they be 1-0 up here at least?
John Souttar will be disappointed he wasn't able to keep that one down. Usually his technique's a bit better, his head would be over the ball. A rare let-off.
Yeah, and for Scotland tonight, we mentioned that physically it's going to be draining on them. How key an issue, and how well do you think they've coped with the physicality?
I think they've gone toe-to-toe reasonably well, and technically they don't look far off either, so no, I think there's no, to a man, they've done well.
And Scotland certainly have had chances. We saw the Souttar one a moment ago. Here is Lewis Morgan's first attempt, and he is probably the Scotland player, Kenny, at the minute most likely to get Scotland a goal. He's had the chances.
He is. I think it's just a case of giving him the ball and hoping he can last as long as possible, because he has done a power of work in both halves. Certainly in familiar surroundings, cheered on by a healthy group of St Mirren fans.
Yeah, and Scotland getting balls into the box here. Chris Cadden, as you can see, doing that, and it is something that they do have options going forward when they break Scotland. Dom Thomas, another one, as we can see here, that can certainly cause problems, but it's all about getting the opportunity at the right time, I guess.
Listen, to Morgan and Cadden, we've got guys that are strong, that are quick.
And just look at this.
It's a good example of it.
Yeah, and positive play. He doesn't care if it's on his left foot or right foot. He was getting the opportunity in there, but the Dutch did come into it late in that first half. This the best of the chances from Stephen Bergwijn. Scotland, maybe just a message there that it will not all go their own way tonight.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes it would have tail off ever so slightly. Maybe a wee reminder that they have to keep the standards high.
Yeah, but should Scott McKenna have scored with this header?
And he'll be slightly disappointed. He did well to get up, win it over Van Drongelen.
Yeah, and Lewis Morgan, as we said, he is giving Denzel Dumfries a right time of it this evening. But the Dutch with the last chance of that first half, and it was Paulo Rosario with this effort going just high and wide. But again, with a Netherlands team, you would expect them to create chances. And are you surprised they haven't created more chances, or is that credit to Scotland?
I think it's credit to Scotland. Even in the last chance there, Burke got a toe out just to put him off, and Taylor was similar a few minutes earlier. So the Dutch are having to work hard for every opening they've had.
Well, half-time elsewhere in the group, England are beating Latvia by 2-0. So England looking to get on the front foot after that draw away in the Netherlands at the weekend, which is probably a decent result away from home against the Dutch. England the top seeds in the group, but the Dutch the second seeds. So and Kenny, you know, and you followed the campaign last time out for Scotland. They did get off to a winning start as the Dutch retake the field. They did get off to a winning start, but it tailed off there. How key is momentum?
It's a big thing. And listen, there's no hiding place. I mean, Malcolm Mackay's talked about it. This is the most difficult age group level, and one that questions are being asked of. Scott Gemmell took on a big challenge with a new group of players, a younger group of players, but I think they've certainly lived up to the billing so far.
What would you expect from this Dutch team in the second half? What do you think they'll try and change to get on the front foot more and get more attempts on goal?
So they are so comfortable in the ball that you don't really see them stretch, you don't see them out of breath. Whereas, let's be honest, Morgan and Cadden, as we said, they've been running up and down, they've been pressing, they've been hassling, they've been harrying. So Scotland may need to mix it up just a wee bit to freshen things up. The Dutch, I think, will just play their normal patient game.
And when you look at and when you look at the Dutch there, do you feel they'll just keep doing what they're doing until they find the chink in the Scotland armour?
They're so relaxed. Listen, sometimes that leads to its undoing. Sometimes they can overplay, but I think they only know how to play one way. For Scotland, it's about hanging in there and making the most of their one chance when it comes. We'll be interested to see if Scott Gemmell changes it up late on. It's worked so far, but will he be tempted to introduce someone like Ollie McBurney to give them a focal point to bring others into the game? Ryan Hardy can play out wide, he can finish. Scott Wright injects pace in the wider areas, so he has options.
There's Ollie Burke there. Would you have expected more from him in this first half, or is it a case of maybe we're focusing too much on the one player?
I think probably he's done as much as he's been allowed to do. He hasn't seen that much of the ball. Certainly he's pressed when he's had to. He's working hard. He's doing the unglamorous, selfless stuff. Hopefully we get a chance to see the other side of his game.
We're ready to get underway here at the Paisley 2021 Stadium, just outside of Glasgow. And this has been the battleground for many of the recent Scotland-Netherlands matches. 0-0 back in 2012. In 2013 it was a 6-1 win for the Dutch, in 2014. And now tonight 0-0 so far. Malen playing it forward. Castanier though for the Dutch. Wilson knocking it back forward there. And Morgan just taking it away from McKenna. And the ball being played in the air more than on the deck at the minute. De Jong comfortable in possession. St. Justo the captain. Across to Dumfries. Down the line, but Taylor is there and can play it forward, and it's actually worked out for Burke. Now Thomas looking to get the ball in. Cadden was racing forward. It still would have been tough, but he wins the corner kick. An encouraging start now for Scotland.
Burke did well there with his link plate. It's a different challenge for him tonight. We're used to seeing him out wide and rampaging up and down the flank. He's got to be more of a link man here. Hold the ball up, see if he can get others up to support.
So corner kick to Scotland in this opening minute of the second half in Paisley. What can Scotland do from this set piece opportunity? They can win another corner.
That man Scott McKenna in the thick of it again.
Now there he is. Played with Ayr United last season. His last game was at Easter Road in the Cup against Hibernian, where he got sent off.
He won't thank me for mentioning it, but he nearly snapped John McGinnon too that day. Just a bit out with the tackle.
And the rest. Malen's corner, away this time by Castanier. But Scotland looking to continue with the pressure. Malen just couldn't get it to Morgan, who was making the run. And now the Dutch looking to break with Bergwijn. Going forward. And as you said, Kenny, lovely feet by Bergwijn. Just overran it there, but it's Scotland getting caught in possession. Winning it back now with Wilson. To Malen. Thomas. Don't know what. I think Burke is telling him where he should have played it there.
Yeah, but that comes back to maybe the lack of understanding we talked about earlier on. It's going to take these players time to forge those on-field relationships. They're not going to know where each other want the ball played.
Joe Drommel goes short from the goal kick. Van Drongelen. Drommel blasted out of play. I don't know what he's thinking there. And it will be a throw in to Scotland. But Scotland do have options on the bench. Michael Johnson of Celtic, Ryan Hardy of Rangers, Scott Wright of Aberdeen. They also have John Ruddy of Wolves. He's on loan at Oldham just now. Theo Archibald of Brentford, Ross McCrory of Rangers, and Ollie McBurney of Swansea on loan at Barnsley just now. So that is the Scotland options from the bench. Thomas. Cadden looking to put Thomas away and under pressure, and he decides to blast it out of play.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to talk about Mikey Johnson. We were running through the other options earlier on. We got a bit of a run out for Celtic at the tail end of last season. Very, very exciting young talent. Just loves to pick up the ball and run at the full-backs. He's an old-fashioned winger type.
Won the Youth Cup. Burke looking for a free kick there, not given by the Slovenian referee. And Bergwijn has possession for the Dutch. Dumfries. Morgan looking to shackle him. Dumfries comes inside. Now Van Drongelen. Gustiel. Van Drongelen again. Nearly every player apart from Drommel in the Scotland half now. Thomas O'Wayan. Van Drongelen looking for the switch of play. Bart Ramselaar looking to get it under control. Under pressure though from Taylor. Dumfries. Here's Rosario. Had that chance at the end of the first half. Bergwijn looking to play in Ramselaar and just blocked by McKenna, who can get Ollie Burke on the attack here. He's up against two, but looking to stretch the legs for Scotland. And a great challenge there by the Dutch captain. Burke was looking dangerous. They were doubling up there, but they can now come away with possession. And it's Gustiel into Frenkie de Jong. Man from Ajax. Looking for Bergwijn. Ralston to Malen. Now Cadden. Back to Anthony Ralston. Here he is again, the Celtic man. Stevie Malen. Looking for Morgan there, just left it short, and Dumfries slides in and clears.
It's a difficult balancing act for Scott Gemmell because Scotland defensively and through the middle, they look very, very solid and well organised, but you wonder, there is the temptation to try and get more support up front for Burke. He's looked a wee bit isolated at times. Not for the lack of trying, simply a lack of bodies around them.
How difficult a balance is that for Scott Gemmell this evening as the game goes on?
Very difficult. It's why he's paid the big bucks. I think I'd be tempted to stick for a while yet.
Well, Burke caught there, and Scotland have the free kick. St Juste trying to rush Ollie Burke to his feet. How much will the players learn from Ollie Burke, and how much will Ollie Burke learn from this experience tonight?
I think first and foremost he gives teammates a boost because they know they can play the ball into the channels or even through the middle, and 9 times out of 10 he's got the pace and strength to get on the end of it, and he's shown his commitment by turning up.
Well, the flag's up against Chris Cadden as Scotland were taking that free kick, looking to get Cadden down the line, but he's a man who has impressed at Motherwell, as we mentioned. 4 goals this season in 9 appearances, all in the League Cup, but it doesn't matter who you score them against.
Yeah, and his attitude's spot on.
Made his debut at under 21 level against Ukraine a year ago today. Rosario.
There will come a time when Cadden moves on from Motherwell. I think they're honest enough about that, but when you see some of the fees being exchanged in England, Chris Cadden's certainly worth a bit more than was reportedly offered.
I think people see Scotland, the market in Scotland, maybe they can get value, but maybe that's a euphemism there, because some would say it's disrespectful, some of the bids coming in for players from English clubs to Scottish clubs.
I suppose the encouraging thing is now that the clubs are obviously looking. There was maybe a spell where English clubs would almost write Scotland off, but a lot of talent on show here tonight.
That's for sure. Rosario out to Dumfries. Forward looking for Ramselaar, but won by Taylor, and now here's Morgan for Scotland. Cadden on this near side, so too Ralston. It's Ralston who collects possession with Cadden in support. Ralston looking for the cross, goes short to Cadden. Morgan, Scotland trying to be patient here. Ralston has space for the cross, and it's a good one, but nobody there. But they do win a corner kick, Scotland. They are 8th of the match.
We've said it a couple of times, Scotland maybe just lack that wee focal point, someone to attack the ball in the box. That's the trade-off for having maybe a couple extra bodies in midfield.
Corner taken quickly. Thomas just unable to get the cross in there. He was unlucky. The ball did take a ricochet. Well, Greg Taylor is a man playing week in, week out for Kilmarnock. This is second cap this evening. 8 appearances for Kilmarnock from their 9 games this season. and that is key, Kenny, playing every week. And Ollie Burke now, a man who decided to seek first team football. Cadden, Thomas up against Denzel Dumfries. Help from Cadden though. Morgan still has possession. Good play by Morgan, getting to the byline. The cross in is cleared, but Scotland have the throw.
Just on Taylor, I would hate to compare him to Andy Robertson or Kieran Tierney, but they do have some things in common. They have that resilience, street smarts, just an attitude, and Greg Taylor certainly got that same edge.
Ralston taking it to the Dutch here, getting to the byline and winning another corner kick for Scotland. That was positive play there by Ralston, but Thomas O'Wayan, the man you can see in your picture there, standing firm and conceding the corner.
Yeah, good to see Ralston a bit more involved at the start of the second half in an attacking sense. He's been disciplined defensively so far.
Tom Thomas to take the corner, doesn't beat the first man, and it is cleared by Thomas O'Wayan.
Thomas put a lot into that first half. You wouldn't be surprised if that was an area of the team that might be freshened up before too long.
Cadden, Thomas in support. Lovely play by Cadden. Thomas now with a bit of room, decides to go for goal, pulls the shot wide, but he wanted to go for goal and the space opened up. He had every right for the shot.
Yeah, and Scotland have had the Dutch on the back foot a few times precisely for that reason. The wide players are prepared to have a go. They're very positive by nature. Only one thing in their mind.
10 minutes into the second half, Scotland 0, Netherlands 0 in this Euro 2019 qualifier. Scotland's first in this group. The Dutch fought out a 1-1 draw with England in the Netherlands on Saturday, and England ahead against Latvia, so they are looking to try and become the early pace setters in this group. Scotland go and play in Middlesbrough next against England. That is always a big occasion. Ramselaar giving chase here. Fulton collects for Scotland.
I think for anyone that's just tuned in, it's important to point out it's not been a backs to the wall job by any stretch of the imagination, but now the back is to the wall.
Castanier looking for space for the shot, opts to go wide instead, and he did pick up a sore one there from Ian Wilson. Play continues, the Dutch still in possession. Van Drongelen, De Jong looking for an option here. Nearly everyone in the Scotland half apart from Joe Drommel, the Dutch goalkeeper. Van Drongelen, Thomas O'Wayan, cross is deflected. It could be an awkward one for Fulton. In the end, it's comfortable for him.
And Ralston was out quickly just to deflect the cross, take the sting out it.
And no matter what, the Dutch will have chances tonight. They will have pressure. It's just how Scotland cope with it, and they did well in the first half, limiting them to 2 chances really.
Defence has been well marshalled, well protected by Ian Wilson just in front of them. Not mentioned Stevie Mallon too much, but I've been really impressed with his decision making. He's hardly wasted a pass. The weight of it's been good. I think we'd just like to see him maybe get a set piece in and around the box, because we all know what he can do from there.
Wilson collects. Burke forward, but he opts to go to the side, and Cadden allows Ralston to take control. Now the Motherwell man back in possession. Ralston, support from Thomas, former Motherwell man. Ralston again, left footed cross, and probably wasn't arced enough to get it into the box.
It's not the first time you've said Wilson collects tonight. I don't think it's a coincidence either. He reads the game so well for someone at his age. I think that's why Lee McCullough's placed so much trust in him in various positions.
Nearly 2,500 here this evening at the Paisley 2021 Stadium. As McKenna heads that all the way out for a goal kick. And we mentioned somebody like Andy Robertson, Kenny, who had been capped for Scotland a number of times. It was decided that he should drop down to the under 21s. He played in a game, I think, against Ukraine a year ago, and he's kicked on since then, but he also probably helped those players around about him, and that's why somebody like Ollie Burke, as you said, he's not let that get to him, you know, that he's played 5 times for the national team and now he's playing in the under-21s.
If their attitude's right, it definitely rubs off on the rest. Sometimes think it's a wee test from Gordon Strachan and his coaching staff as well, just to see how they respond to dropping down. The best ones always go back up.
Well, Andy Robertson, certainly that is the case for him. As Taylor looking for Burke, looking to burst through, and he wins the corner kick. It was Dumfries and St Justa trying to hold him off, but his persistence pays off and Scotland get the corner which he is looking to take. He opts to leave it this time though, and it will be Mallon now to come across.
I'll give you credit where it's due, Luke. I think you were the first person that mentioned Andy Robertson to me back when he was at Queen's Park. You weren't the only one, but I think you were the first.
Mallon with the corner. McKenna with the header and sliding in. John Souttar, he just couldn't make connection there for Scotland. But again, the centre-back partnership posing a threat in the opposition's box.
McKenna's so aggressive in the air, and the Dutch simply haven't been able to handle him now on I think 3 different occasions. It's the second time Souttar's been close to getting on the end of it. If he was wasteful the first time round, he was unlucky there.
He was in the right place, it just didn't fall to him sliding in. He wasn't scared to go for it though, and that's what you want, somebody who will take the risk.
Good spell again from Scotland, picked up where they'd maybe slacked off slightly towards the end of the first half.
Scotland again looking to go forward. Morgan looking to race all the way to the byline, showing his pace. Positive play here from Scotland, and he wins the corner.
Tremendous from Morgan. He's done that all night. He's needed no invitation to drive forward, cut inside. And you can see the Dutch defence trying to rough him up a wee bit just now.
Yeah, but look at this. He wasn't, you know, Van Drongelen tries to get the arm across. It was just positive play. One thought on his mind, getting to that byline.
And there's 2 of them there tangled up trying to deal with him. Tremendous play from the St Mirren man.
Mallon just repositioning the shin pad. And it will be Scotland's 11th corner of the evening. They have threatened, certainly with a few of the set-piece opportunities. This time it's to the front post, and it's a chance here. It's Burke for Scotland on his under-21 debut. He makes no mistake at close range, and on the hour mark, Scotland take the lead.
And how many times tonight have we mentioned Scotland being a threat from set pieces, whether it's Thomas or Mallon? On that occasion, Mallon. And it has to be said, the Dutch defendant has not been up to scratch in these situations.
Well, let's see it here. Stevie Mallon with the cross. This time he decided to float one in. He was just taken off the head of Souttar, maybe fortunate to get the break of the ball falling back to Burke, but he made no mistake.
He made no mistake, but don't underestimate the presence of Scott McKenna again. I know we've highlighted it all night. They just simply haven't been able to handle him. Burke kept his head down, right place at the right time, no mistake.
Well, Ollie Burke, he was the headline attraction, and it just managed to take a slight deflection there of St Justa. Maybe unlucky for the goalkeeper, but maybe Scotland deserved that luck. And Ollie Burke, the man who's had 5 caps for the full squad, scores on his under-21 debut tonight.
I think you make your own luck. Scotland's delivery in these situations has been great all night. Souttar and McKenna have been menacing. One of them was bound to go in, sure enough.
What response from the Dutch? Castanier nearly getting in there. It's a goal kick. But with half an hour to go, Kenny, is it stick or twist?
If he was considering twisting, I think he might just stick now. And he has the options. Listen, Scott Wright's hard working. A threat out wide. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come on. Maybe just to freshen things up.
I think the thing
Theo
is,
Archibald's the same.
the thing is, Kenny, that wasn't against the run of play. Scotland certainly have been worthy of this 1-0 scoreline so far with the threat they were posing. I mean, just looking, 11 corners.
I think that's what's so good about these games being streamed, that some of these guys that aren't household names supporters have a chance to see that there is a lot of good work being done. And I disagree with people that say that they punted the ball long. I think it's been measured.
Well, a change for the Dutch, and it is Castanier who's going off. He's really been not had too much of an impact today, and the man coming on, Sam Lammers.
Castanier's been cast away, made no impact.
Oh, you've been waiting to say that.
I usually get a slap from Gordon Duncan for those lines.
Yeah, I'm more polite. If Gordon wants to assault you, that's up to him. So Lammers on, the 20-year-old from PSV Eindhoven. Made his debut this time last year for the club. As Scotland win the free kick. Morgan again in the thick of the action, no surprise there. And he seems to be enjoying it out there, playing on his own home ground, the St Mirren man. Big things expected, that's for sure, and a lot of attention he was attracting, but he remains here in Paisley for the time being, and that will be to the delight of the St Mirren fans. Here he is again, going forward, just overrunning it there, but you could see what he was trying to do. Certainly no criticism there of Lewis Morgan. Scored twice the last time he played here, just before the international break against Dundee United, another team in orange or tangerine, and it was a 3-0 win for St Mirren, an encouraging win for them.
He said all the right things this week in the team hotel. He knows the time will come to move on. Happy to be a main man for St Mirren, playing every week. Leading light for Jack Ross.
I think that's it with players at this level. You can't underestimate the meaning of first team football.
And I think as well as Malin and as well as Morgan, I think it's worth mentioning Kyle McAllister, John McGinn. I think even going further back, St Mirren had a part to play in Craig Slater's development. St Mirren are doing something right at youth level, got to be applauded.
Well, John Souttar there, who has been causing havoc in the opposition box, but doing his job at the back as well. And key for Craig Levine now going forward at Heart of Midlothian. Art Langelaar will be scratching his head to see what the Dutch do next to try and get back into this game, because Scotland have limited them to a small number of chances, but De Jong deciding to go alone, and he's won the free kick. And Frankie De Jong, it was persistent play there to get forward, the Ajax man taking the game by the scruff of the neck and going short with the free kick here. Bergwijn runs through, but again you have to credit John Souttar for putting Bergwijn off there. 66 minutes on the clock here in Paisley. Scotland 1, Netherlands 0.
Well, listen, nothing achieved so far, but all very, very positive, very encouraging. Be great to see them get it over the line.
It could be in for a interesting last 24 minutes of the game. De Jong again looks comfortable in possession, even when he's been hustled and harried by the Scotland midfield.
And again, you're talking about sticking or twisting for the Scots, but the Dutch have got the same dilemma now. And if they decide to push up and leave gaps, then maybe that is where a Scott Wright or a Mikey Johnson comes into play.
The Dutch will be making another change in a minute, and it is key for Scotland that they concentrate here. Certainly being very effective as Bergwijn now looking for Lammers, away by John Souttar, doing the dirty work right. Van Drongelen, well, the ball hit his standing foot there, got away with it.
Yeah, Burke's just having to pick and choose when he presses. He can't do it for 90 minutes.
Isn't just it. Now De Jong rather. Thomas away in. Here's Steven Bergwijn, the man from PSV Eindhoven, wins a free kick. And another change for the Dutch now. It looks like Gus Thiel going off. And Adrissi, the man coming on. The Groningen man. 30 appearances, 5 goals last season. So he's a man who is used to first team football, as we mentioned, how important that can be. So free kick for the Dutch here. De Jong to fire it in. Fulton comes and collects and does very well there.
And that is exactly what you want from your keeper. Takes the pressure off the defence, gives everyone time to get back into shape. I know as a keen goalkeeper yourself, Luke, that you would approve.
Yeah, I have been called the cat.
Not by many.
Or the fat cat. Anyway, blasted forward, and Thomas giving chase for Scotland here. Needs some support though. Dom Thomas does well, doesn't win the free kick though. It goes out for a throw. Maybe just tried to play for it too much. Morgan though for Scotland. Thomas. And the Dutch have it back, but Thomas not giving up on that one there, and neither is Morgan, but it will be a goal kick to the Netherlands. Well, Germany won this tournament in the summer, the 2017 final, and Poland 1-0 against Spain. Scotland have qualified on 7 occasions, the last in 1996 as we mentioned earlier. Finished joint third in 1982 and 1992. Then with the advent of a third place playoff, they finished 4th in 1996, their last appearance in the tournament. As I said, they have finished top of the group twice since then, just with the playoff system not being able to get over the line against a good Croatia team that had the likes of Kranjčar in it, etc. Against a good Iceland team that has some of the household names that are playing in their first team now and playing in England, etc. and in Germany. It is very difficult when it's a 12-team tournament to get to the finals.
Yeah, it is. I think that's borne out by Scotland's qualification record of late at this level.
I think
very successful at under 17s, periodic appearances at under 19 level, not so much at 21s.
And I guess that's the key thing with the likes of Scott Gemmell, Malky Mackay, and when they blood some of the younger players, playing them up a level, as you said earlier, Kenny, you get to see a lot of the 19s as well. Do you feel there's certainly room to be optimistic?
There is, and I'm a bit biased. I've watched Scott Gemmell at close quarters for a few years now, since he was part of the Scotland team that won the Victory Shield when Calvin Miller clinched it against England all those years ago.
2014.
And I just think he's a real asset to the SFA.
Ralston, support with Cadden. Referee says play on, and Cadden going forward for Scotland here. What can he produce? Decides to come inside. Thomas in support. He's been all over the place as well, trying to get there as the free kick is awarded by the referee from Slovenia, Mr. Obranovic.
And that's great for Scotland because, again, disrupts any Dutch momentum. Change for Scotland.
Yep, Scotland about to make a change as Cadden wins that free kick. And it's Thomas, the man who is going off, and there is Ross McCrory, the man who will be coming on, another player that's very versatile.
And it'll be interesting to see where Ross slots in, because I've seen him his natural centre-back position at right back, seen him, he's played in the centre of midfield.
Just his second cap, Dom Thomas, but sum up his performance tonight.
I think it's been the quintessential Dom Thomas performance. He is a maverick, he's inventive, he's creative, at times he's careless. I think he's one of these guys you just enjoy watching.
He's certainly worked hard today. And it's time for Ross McCrory to come on. He's another one of that Victory Shield team in 2013, rather. I think I said 2014 earlier. 2013 that won it at Starks Park against England. Calvin Miller got the winning goal, but Ross McCrory, one of that breed. Ross from Malin-Low. And Scott McKenna going in at the front post. Goal kick awarded, much to the annoyance of McKenna.
Yep, and he's not the type to complain if there's not much in it. But you can just see McCrory there slotting in alongside Ian Wilson, so it looks as if Scott Gemmell is just trying to shore things up. And you mentioned McCrory. McCrory seems like an old stager, even at this level. He's been around for so long, along with his brother Robbie. Another of the old head and young shoulder type.
Great play by Bert Taylor now. A chance for Scotland. And well, Drommel grateful that the deflection off his defender fell into his arms there. But again, positive play by Scotland getting to the byline. Taylor linking up well with Burke. But now the Dutch looking to try and get back into this game with 17 minutes remaining. Could Scotland be getting off to a flyer here against the Dutch? And Scott Gemmell trying to get a magic moment against the Dutch, just as his father did back in 1978. He won't thank me for the comparisons, that's for sure.
And I think Archie's here tonight.
Paisley boy.
So I'm kicking about outside.
Yeah, back home. Bergwijn. Now to Van Drongelen, the man that plays for Hamburg. St. Juste.
Bergwijn seems to be struggling a little bit, limping heavily.
Away in. Van Drongelen. Doesn't want to hit the ball out though here. Want to go on the front foot into Wilson.
How many times tonight has Wilson mopped up like that?
And good control as well. Difficult ball to control there. Taylor going long. Morgan giving chase against Dumfries. And Scotland win the throw.
He's not the quickest Wilson. There are better natural athletes out there, but he reads the game so well, and sometimes I think that gives him a head start.
That was a chance here for Scotland when Taylor linked up well with Burke, and that is encouraging to see the link-up play. Here's Taylor now with the throw. The referee saying that he was stealing a couple of yards. And a couple more. Back he goes. Boy from Greenock. Given away there by Mallon. He was looking for Burke. Now the Dutch going forward. Drissy giving chase. Suter there. Back to Fulton. Oh, big confident kick forward as Burke looks to put Van Drongelen under pressure. Mallon unlucky there, just his touch taking it too far in front of him, and the Dutch are able to pick up possession again. Lammers leaves it for Bergwijn. Now Rosario, poor by Paulo Rosario, as Morgan now going forward again. Rosario goes to ground. Morgan just loses control there but wins the throw in, and the final change for the Dutch now. As the Scotland fans encouraged by the way they're playing. As you said earlier, Kenny, it is Bergwijn who is going off.
That's a blow from the Dutch because he's obviously a talent.
Rikario Zivakovic coming on. And his mum's Serbian, he could still play for Serbia. Zivkovic.
Well, with that run from Lewis Morgan, he'll sleep well tonight.
That's for sure. Back in action this weekend for St Mirren. So they look to kickstart their promotion push. They did well in their last game against Dundee United, as I mentioned.
Says a lot for the fitness level of the players that they're still pushing this hard late on.
Well, Mallon coming to the attention of the referee, who hands out the first yellow card of the evening. A late one there by the former St Mirren man. Here it is, just going in there on Dumfries.
Didn't think there was too much on that. We just need to be careful now though, Mallon.
Dumfries holding there. There it is again. And Mallon not happy. He felt
borderline decision on Dumfries. He looks happy.
And so should he. 13 minutes remaining. Scotland leading 1-0 here in Paisley as Ralston averts the danger there, and Cadden can sweep up. Van Drongelen only as far as Cadden though. Goes down, wins a free kick. Maybe in the soft variety, but Scott Gemmell is a man that will be pleased with his team's endeavour so far. But they have got so far. They need to get over the line now.
And another change coming. As you say, he's had that dilemma all through the second half, stick or twist. He's tweaked more than anything else, bringing McCrory on for Thomas, a more defensive-minded player.
Suter for Burke. Flick on looking for Cadden. Rosario's left it short. It's Mallon! 2-0 to Scotland, and Stevie Mallon doing what he does best at this ground, now with Barnsley, but the former St Mirren man happy to get back on the score sheet here in Paisley to give Scotland a 2-goal advantage.
And it all starts with a gazelle-like leap from Ollie Burke. Just dropped the ball in a dangerous area. Mallon's so composed with the finish.
Well, here we go again. It was Burke with the flick on. What was Rosario doing there? Mallon one-on-one, and it was a great finish.
Well, it's an inch perfect through ball from Rosario. Not the type he had in mind. Mallon kept a cool head when it would have been easy to flash a foot at the ball. Did well.
I don't think he'll be claiming an assist. But Burke with the link-up, Cadden trying to get on the end of it, but Rosario there, what was he doing? Mallon, you could see the whites of the keeper's eyes, but that didn't put him off, slotting it past the goalkeeper.
And it's no more than it deserves. Scotland, they've been tremendous. This is no fluke, no backs to the wall effort, and a change right enough.
Scott Wright on for Scotland.
Could be wrong, I think Stevie Mallon replaced.
Well, he did put in a tower of work, and that's his thank you.
Yeah, I think when he's on that booking as well, Scott Gemmell right to be careful. And Scott Wright, as good as he is going forward, he always puts in a shift going defensively as well.
Well, Scotland 2-0 up against the Dutch, and it is going well for Scott Gemmell. That is for sure. But the Dutch won't give this one up, and Scotland can't be complacent. St Juste now. De Jong loses out there. Lovely play by Burke to give it to Scott Wright. Going forward, going down, no free kick. The referee was at close quarters. Wright not happy with Van Drongelen. And the Dutch looking to get forward, but here's Morgan. Lovely play. Scotland confident now, and Burke going through. A real chance for Scotland. It's Burke! Just wide there on his left foot, but you can see the confidence flowing through the Scotland players' veins now.
I don't want to labour the point, but it's 100% merited. This, it's not been a backs to the wall effort at all. They've been so threatening on the break every time, and Burke has led the line really well for a winger.
Well, he probably was right to take the shot on. If he had tried to come inside and lost possession, didn't get a shot away, then he would be getting some stick for that, but he certainly had the right to take on the shot. He was in the box, and it was good play by Morgan initially again.
And we've talked about Morgan all night. Listen, some were questioning the likes of Greg Docherty left out, Liam Henderson, a couple of big names. People might talk about Morgan, a player playing at a lower level.
Rosario deflected, and he's looking to atone for his error earlier on, but Ralston maybe just going for that, swiping at that too early, and Scotland get away with that because the Dutch didn't take the throw-in at the right place.
Going to say, I saw a few eyebrows raised about Morgan because he's playing at a lower level. I think he's entirely justified his inclusion tonight.
Well, the Dutch not happy here. Bart Ramselaar having a real go, and the throw-in is actually gone to Scotland. Ramselaar's going to get a booking here. Dissent taking an aggressive attitude towards the referee, who said it's a Scotland ball. Ralston had blasted it away. The referee said it was a Scotland ball. The Dutch had tried to take it early. Three players crowding round the referee, and Ralston will have the throw-in for Scotland.
Well, listen, this suits Scotland because they're happy to run down the clock. It disrupts any sort of momentum from the Dutch, so they're their own worst enemy just now.
Joe Drommel beaten twice tonight. Firstly from Burke, then from Mallon. And there we go, Kenny, your man of the match. You've selected Lewis Morgan. Tell us why.
And a really, really tough call tonight, but I think Lewis Morgan just edges it. He has been all-round fantastic, whether it's been defensively putting in a shift or offensively breaking forward. hugging the touchline, breaking inside. He's had the Dutch on the back foot all night. Lewis Morgan's the man of the match and can be very, very proud of his performance tonight. Caps off a good wee run for him.
On home turf too, the St Mirren man. Kenny's going for the home decision.
Means I'll get out of Paisley in one piece.
McCrory going forward. Burt was in an offside position, so it'll run through to the goalkeeper. But we mentioned how key it is to get off to a flyer. But Scotland beat Holland in the 2011. They managed to take 4 points off the Dutch in that campaign, but still finished 6 points behind them. It's what you do in the other games as well, and Scotland failed in that campaign to win enough games with too many draws. It's Morgan again showing maybe why Kenny was right making that decision, but it is out for a throw in to the Dutch.
Yeah, listen, it's just a start. Well, another change for Scotland.
And there he is. It's Ollie Burke who will go off, and he's the man that got the opening goal for Scotland. His experience certainly key this evening. A tough shift when there was no out-and-out front man at times for him, but his pace, his persistent play going forward, his physicality really caused the Dutch danger tonight.
Yeah, the captain's led from the front. He adds a bit of star quality and he's taking responsibility tonight.
Tell us about this man coming on.
So I've seen a lot of Theo Archibald over the years, playing in a variety of positions. He's very, very tidy on the ball, always shows for it, takes responsibility. And I know from speaking to people at Brentford how he really has hit the ground running there. Initially signed for the B team, he's already made an impact in the first team. Good to see a few of the Scots making names for themselves. He's not alone at Brentford. Ali Coote made the same move from Dundee United this summer, doing well too.
Yeah, he came on against Ipswich a couple of weeks ago. Drissy now going for the shot, deflected, but Fulton gets behind it well.
And you were right to say, listen, this is just a start, a great start, but just a start. But knowing some of the boys, they're very, very professional bunch. They're not the type to get phased or ahead of themselves. I think they'll see this for what it is, a very, very good start, but just a start. And Scott Gemmell's exactly the same.
Tonight's last match goes to Scotland's number 10.
Well, Peter Grant there, ably assisting Scott Gemmell. They will be pleased, but as you say, it is just a start. But no wonder the Scotland fans are happy this evening. McKenna, who probably has been more of a danger in the opposition's box than needing to do his job at the back, although he's managed to do that very well.
As we said, a few times he's been a threat in both boxes. I feel this has become a cliche very, very quickly, but another with an old head on young shoulders. I think it's one of the assets this team has. A lot of maturity despite their tender years.
De Jong forward for Thomas O'Wayan. Here's Bart Ramselaar, away by Scott McKenna. Van Drongelen. This time it's Ralston that knocks it forward over the head of Scott Wright. Van Drongelen under pressure here. Wright going to ground. Van Drongelen just holds him off and plays it back to Drommel.
There's an example of how hard Scott Wright's willing to work for the cause.
Well, lasted forward now from the Dutch. It's Lammers the sub. Going in there, Taylor. McKenna can clear and Scotland win the throw.
Taylor put a foot wrong tonight. If he has, I can't remember it.
Did you know he scored against Brazil and France in the summer?
If you had mentioned it, he certainly would have.
No wonder, so would I. McKenna there he is. We mentioned him earlier. The tower of work he's managed to get through at the back. And Scott Gemmell will be pleased with the endeavours of all his team. 2.5 minutes to play, and this is an encouraging start for Scotland. Give away the free kick there though.
I don't think Ryan Fulton's had a significant save to make.
Just that one there from Zivkovic from the shot, but maybe that's a sign that he's had a decent game. When he's been called into action, he's managed to deal with things well.
He has. He's been well protected by his defence.
Lammers looking to get in here, and he manages to pick up possession. Good defending by Suter, because Zivkovic was running in. England 3-0 up against Latvia. So England getting their first victory after a draw against the Dutch. As it stands, the Dutch will only be on 1 point from 2 games. Scotland 3 points from 1 game as it stands. Idrissi cutting in and looking for the shot, blocked there. Scotland doing well at the back. Nearly everyone in the Scotland half. Rosario, who made the error for Scotland's second. Cross into the box is a good one. Away by Suter. Don't know what Zivkovic was thinking. I think he thought that Thomas O'William was behind him. Scotland have the throw and they're in no hurry to take this one.
I think John Suter's another one who's strolled it tonight. Up against high calibre opposition. Coming on leaps and bounds all the time.
Morgan wins the throw for Scotland. Just a minute to go then of this opening qualifying match for Euro 2019 to be held in Italy in San Marino. As Cadden now turning away from Van Drongelen, who's still at close quarters. Cadden taking the ball into the right position, just barged out of the way by Van Drongelen, and it will be a free kick to Scotland, and probably the best area that Scotland could have a free kick at this stage.
Yep, when there'll be no rush. I think for all we've mentioned Morgan tonight on the left, Cadden deserves praise for his work on the right. Yep. Tireless worker up and down.
As you can see there, winning the free kick, barged out of the way. And I don't think Scotland will be whipping this into the box.
No, and I think it is really unfair to pick out one person as much as we raved about Morgan. Ian Wilson, I think, has been terrific.
Oh, come on, don't go back on your decision now, come on.
Oh no, clearly, listen, I've clearly made the right call. I'm not sure the referee has with 4 additional minutes though.
Yeah, 4 additional minutes, I don't know where he's getting that from. Because there's not been a physio on once.
Just gives the Scots time for a third.
Yeah, but they're content on keeping it in that corner. As we are in the time added on for stoppages, Cadden wins another throw. Scotland being clever here, keeping it in the right end of the park. Certainly they'll want a clean sheet now as well for all their endeavour. Scotland winning a free kick there, and Zivkovic squaring up to the assistant referee. Going to be a yellow card here. Now, to be fair, I don't think there was much in that for a free kick, but there was no need to race towards the assistant there, squaring up to him.
You cannot square up to an assistant referee.
Unless you're
as big as Zivkovic is.
Well, unless you're Saulius Mikalunas. Remember that? Way
You
back
never
in the
forget, do
day.
you?
No. Remember that one back in the day. Well, this could cap off a really good week for Scotland at both A level and under 21 level. 2 wins for Gordon Strachan's team against Lithuania and Malta. Scotland leading here against the Dutch, second seeds in the group. Ralston runs that one out, and it will be a throw to the Dutch. Deep into stoppage time now. Nice flick there from Lammers, but John Suter has possession, looking for right away from St Justa, the Dutch captain. Can't really get the ball down to play it here, and it might just run out for a throw, which it does to Scotland.
And they've been so slack, the Dutch.
Well, we said before they expect them to play good football, they'll try and be patient, etc. But Scotland have not allowed them to do that.
Nope, they haven't. Maybe you'll have the Dutch FA send a delegation over to Scotland to see how they're doing it.
Ah, the think tank. Morgan. Ralston deep in the Dutch half, and he wins a free kick there. Clever play. The Dutch getting frustrated now. Good play there by the Celtic man. Just 18 years old. And there he was there, pushed to the ground, the assistant at close quarters.
Tremendously cynical these past few minutes from Scotland. It's a side of the game sometimes I think we let ourselves down in, but certainly they're managing the game well tonight.
Another booking there for the Dutch. They are just losing their cool. And Scotland have almost kept it down that corner since the added on time was announced. Scott Wright from Aberdeen. Morgan wins the throw in. De Jong not happy. Ralston. And a high challenge here by Thomas Owain on Anthony Ralston, and if anything, Owain probably hurt himself more. But they really are losing their cool here.
I think Owain would do well to steer clear of Ralston, because he's not the kind of guy I would want to tangle with.
Yeah, here's the challenge coming in here. Going in. To be fair, he was going for the ball, but he just got across the player.
Wry smile on Ralston's face.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Doing well again. As the final whistle sounds, what a win for Scotland to open their Euro 2019 qualifying group, as there's a bit of afters here with some of the Dutch players. Lewis Morgan, the man of the match, getting involved. It's all getting silly. The Dutch losing their cool late on. Denzel Dumfries is not happy. Maybe the Dutch just not happy that they lost this game, but for Scotland, they will be happy. The only person with a Scottish name, Denzel Dumfries, certainly not happy. But it's Scotland who have won this one. Full time here, Scotland 2, the Netherlands 0. And Kenny, what an encouraging start.
The Dutch can complain all they want, but they were well beaten in every department, solid at the back, composed in midfield, and a threat up front. Scott Gemmell will be delighted. And before we finish, I'd like to say congratulations to Mark Snell, SFA Communication Officer, who bows out tonight after his last game.
Yeah, what a way to bow out, given that he has been there through tough times with the under-21s home and away. This is a great victory for Scotland. John Souttar there, the captain, certainly led by example, no doubt about that. Ollie Burke involved in this campaign, and maybe the question will be, should he stay here or go back up to the first team? I guess it depends if he's playing and what he can offer to Scotland, but certainly he's offering a lot here at this level.
The A squad have so many options. You look at the players that couldn't get off the bench for Scotland, people like Matt Ritchie, who are doing well in the English Premier League. I don't think there's any harm in leaving Ollie Burke where he is just now.
And well, Scotland going ahead on 61 minutes. It was Stevie Mallon's corner. They managed to get the break of the ball. Ollie Burke firing in from close range. That's certainly getting Scotland on the front foot after 61 minutes. But for me, Scotland were fantastic tonight, and it was great play early on. Ollie Burke there, the man who put himself about playing at this level. And let's see this opening goal here, Kenny, for Scotland. This is a chance for John Souttar in the second half. But Scotland were causing problems from the set piece.
Yeah, listen, this was no smash and grab. They had it coming. Gradually played themselves into the game, especially a threat from set pieces. Yeah, the delivery was first class from both sides.
Yeah, I counted 11 corner kicks. I think this is the goal coming up here. Just Scotland in the right place, getting the break of the ball. Maybe a slight deflection there, but they deserved it given the threat they posed.
Puck was cool. They could easily have lashed at that and sent it spinning over the bar, kept his head over it. No more than they deserved.
That was key to get in front, because then it meant that the Dutch had to try and get forward. But this is the goal. Yep, slight deflection there off the Dutch captain, but Ollie Burke in the right place, close range to fire that one in. And for Scotland then, it became slightly easier, despite the Dutch having this chance, trying to get the set piece in. Poor delivery. Ryan Fulton, we mentioned he didn't have much to do, but when he did have to do something, he was very confident.
Yeah, he did everything he had to do with minimum fuss. You could see the Dutch growing increasingly frustrated as the game wore on.
Yeah, that was the thing. And again, the link-up play, Burke down to Taylor, getting across into the box. Just no takers on that occasion for Scotland. But Mallon putting himself about all evening there. Maybe he felt that wasn't a free kick, but he was a man that impressed. And then he managed to get the winning goal for Scotland. Kenny, talk us through this.
Yeah,
one.
And he made it count. Great knockdown from Burke. But less said about the through ball the better, but a composed finish from Mallon. Kept his head when it counted.
Yeah, Rosario won't be claiming an assist for that one. But Scotland had options there, and it was just a case of being aware and being ready to pounce when the opportunity arose there. Poor play by the Dutch, but a great finish.
If Scotland hadn't been so positive, they wouldn't have been in a position to capitalise on that. So credit to Scott Gemmell, as we said a few times, this wasn't a back to the wall showing at all. They came to win and they won.
And it could have been more. Ollie Burke with this chance.
I think that a couple of tired legs on show there, and no wonder with the shift he put in.
And well, after that, Scotland being very clever, just making sure that they kept the ball down the right end of the field, and it was free kick after free kick here. Cad and Ralston just showing a bit of nous to keep Scotland away from any danger.
Yeah, their legs might be a bit heavy tomorrow. They took a bit of treatment in that top corner of the pitch.
The Dutch just seemed to lose it.
They did. Clearly expected to come here and win without too much effort, but wasn't to beat. Well beaten.
Well, Scotland winning this one by 2-0, and next for Scotland, it is the small matter of a trip to Middlesbrough when they take on England on the 6th of October. There's the fixtures, 1 down and 1 win for Scotland so far, but then a trip to Middlesbrough, to the Riverside Stadium, to take on England. And if you want to follow the young Scots, tickets are available for that game via the English FA website. It would be great to see you down there and get behind the team, because after this encouraging start they could certainly do with the support. 24 hours before that game though, the A squad are back in action, and it is a massive one at Hampden Park. Scotland taking on Slovenia in the crucial World Cup qualifier, Thursday the 5th of October. Tickets are on sale at tickets.scottishfa.co.uk. Get along and roar Scotland to Russia. That one is important. But we'll be leaving you with the encouraging scoreline, full time here in Paisley. Scotland 2, Netherlands 0.